right, so for assignment one, you guys are going to be evaluating, reviewing the Loko IA app as part of your app case study number one. So let's go ahead and get started. So here's the Loko IA version 2. Let's go ahead and open that up. Um, if you have an iPhone, you're welcome to download the app and do assignment number one. You don't need to bother watching this video. But if you don't have an iPhone, unfortunately, you won't be able to download the Loko IA app, and I recommend that you watch this video before doing assignment number one for this class. So let's go ahead and get started. So as you see, we've opened up the Loko IA app, and we have several options here via these buttons: Tours, Mea Ola, Ike Hawaii, and Science. And then on the bottom, we have a tab bar, and we can tab through different sections of the app. So let's go ahead. Currently, we're in My Loko IA, and we can see that because it's highlighted in blue here. We can access real-time data, so RT, that stands for real-time, and then we can also access the info, so some background information about the app. But let's go ahead and go back to the home screen, and what I'm going to do in this very short video is explore the different sections of the app. And here we have 4 buttons that the user can press to access some other parts of the application. So for the tours, let's check that out. Oh, this is interesting. So as you can see, I am recording on my laptop right now, and I'm not at the fish pond. So the walking tour is not available as of right now. So we're gonna go ahead and press OK. And you notice now it sort of alerts me to the virtual tour. So let's go ahead and press the virtual tour. And voila, we come to this screen. We see sort of this nice graphic of the fish pond, and we see that we have 9 virtual sites that we can explore via the virtual tour. Let's go ahead and explore the first site. Ooh, we get this really beautiful picture of Heia Fish Pond, which is located on Oahu in the Ahupua'a of Heia. And we can see here sort of a nice aerial view. There's text that we can access, more text and more photos. And for every site on the virtual tour, you can also listen to some audio by one of the caretakers of Heia Fish Pond. So there's an organization called Pai Pai o Heia, and you can check out their website if you want to. And the employees there, the caretakers, took the time to do the recordings for the application. So that's the virtual tour. We can check out site number 6. And you can check out like site number 5, which really focuses on the kuapa, or the fish pond wall. So that's the virtual tour. So take your time through that if you're able to explore, and we can go back to My Loko IA. Alright, so just to reiterate, so in the tours, if you're actually at Heia Fish Pond, the walking tour will prompt instead of the virtual tour. So let's go to Mea Ola, which means living organism in Hawaiian. And let's take a look here. So you can see there's different sections here, and under Mea Ola you can explore what this section is all about. There's herbivorous fish, of course ama ama, the Hawaiian name ama ama. You can explore another photo, and it reveals the scientific name and the common name. So ama ama is one of the many different herbivores that were raised in fish ponds. We've got predatory fish section, birds that are commonly seen at Heia Fish Pond, invertebrates, plants, limu or seaweed, invasive species, so species that sort of have invaded on land or in the water at Heia Fish Pond. So yeah, if you're able to download the app, you can go ahead and explore that. Ike Hawaii. So Ike Hawaii is Hawaiian knowledge, Hawaiian culture. And at Heia Fish Pond, we talk about the actual ahupua'a, the ahupua'a of Heia, the kuapa, which is the fish pond wall, mahi'i'a, fish farming. So basically, fish ponds is the farming of fish, raising fish, cultivating them. Kilo, so observation, the practice of observation. And mo'olelo, stories pertaining to this region and this fish pond. Let's go ahead and explore mahi'i'a. So you can go ahead and read about it in this section. Very similar to the design patterns that you saw in the virtual tour section of the app. And you can see Kilo here. So they talk a little bit about some of the cloud formations and what that tells the mahi'i'a, the fish farmer, the caretaker at the fish pond. So that was Ike Hawaii. And here we are in the science section, which is really exciting. So for version 2 of the app, we worked with a scientist at UH Manoa, and his name is Dr. Brian Glazer. And he has sensors deployed in the water at a few sites around the fish pond. And those sensors are constantly feeding back the current conditions in the fish pond. So through the application, we are able to now, we have taken that data and put it through our application, and we're able to display that data now in the mobile app, which was not a feature in the first version. So this is really wonderful. It allows us to keep our users, our Loko app users, engaged with the fish pond, even if they're not there. So real-time data, let's check it out. Let's start with important concepts. So it goes over some of the real-time data parameters that are being measured. So water temperature, oxygen, water pressure. And node maps. So these are the two locations that the app is currently getting real-time data from sensors that are dropped and deployed in the water there. So site 1, we can get the current conditions. So these are the current conditions for water temperature, oxygen concentration, and water pressure. We can also view individually these parameters over a 24-hour period, a weekly period, so 7 days, and then monthly. So we can see how water temperature has changed over the past month. And you can do that for oxygen and water pressure. So that was site 1, and site 2, we currently have water pressure being measured at site 2. And if you want to actually learn about the sensors themselves, each sensor is featured and talked about here. So that's the real-time data, and you can also access real-time data right here on the tab. It has its special tab because we felt that we wanted to draw users to the real-time data, since it was a really important feature, keeping our users coming back and engaged. But let's go back into science because we have one more important section here, and that's the archive data. So in the first version of the Loko app, we had a couple scientists that contributed their data. They were measuring things like, let's just go into it. They were measuring macroalgae coverage, microphytobenthos, phytoplankton, dissolved oxygen, and salinity. And they allowed us to then host some of their data maps in the first version of the Loko app. But just like the real-time data, you can get some information about important concepts regarding this particular data sets. The science methods, so methods involved in gathering the data. So as you can see, a couple students here helping with processing the data. But let's take a look at the data maps themselves. So let's look at macroalgae. That's what we've been looking at. So as you can see, 2012, so about 6 years ago, the dry season. So here are the different types of algae. So Acanthoptera spicifera, Gracilaria salicornia, Capophycus, mixed canopy. So this is the coverage of all those different types of macroalgae in the dry season of 2012, so the summertime. And then in the wet season, you can kind of see there is actually a big difference depending on what season it is. And we can look at the salinity map if you'd like to. So the distribution of salinity or salt in parts per thousand. So you can see dry season and wet season. So there is a difference. And we'll go back to our home screen. So that in a nutshell is the Loko app. Please remember that if you're not able to download this application, then I hope this video was really useful. If you have further questions about the Loko app, feel free to email me. Otherwise, enjoy reviewing the Loko app as your first app case study. Aloha.